Hello, Alex Smith here again. Second part in my warehouse course. The first thing I'd like to do is to talk about CVs and job hunting. Okay, what makes a good warehouse CV? A lot of people make the mistake of thinking you've got to say everything on a CV. You don't. It is a first contact document. It's your brochure. So you don't have to go into the whole war and peace thing about what you did here, there, or whatever. You just need to give an overview. If they want more detail, they have to invite you in for an interview to find out. So, CV, what do you need on it? Well, obviously you need your contact details. Now, some people are a bit leery about putting a CV up that has their home address on, especially if all and sundry can look at it. The way around this is to have just the second line of your address, so the town, perhaps the postcode or that sort of thing. That way you don't have to worry that somebody's hacking or whatever to get your details. You do need a mobile phone number or a phone number that you can be contacted on, and preferably an email address. Now, word to the wise, don't put the same email address that your Facebook account's on, because they can go and do a background on you. Have a job-specific email, and also keep it simple, like perhaps your name and some numbers after it that mean something to you, or that sort of thing. Or a Smith job email, whatever. But keep it simple so that it's not got Studley God 1 or something like that on it. Okay? So, have an email that you can be contacted on, mobile phone or a phone that they can contact you on. Yeah. Next thing, you don't need to put your age on. Yeah. There's all sorts of laws that say about age protection and that sort of thing. But people are creatures of habit, and they might judge you based on things they think you can and can't do based on how old you are. So don't put your date of birth or anything on there. Only go back 10 or so years on your work history. Now, if you have gaps in your work history for various reasons, perhaps you did, 6 months as a temp contract, then a gap, then worked somewhere else for a couple of months, then a gap, and so on and so forth. All you need to do for that period is put various temporary contracts, and then put in things like my employers included Bodgett and Scarpa Limited and Shysters Earth, that sort of thing. Go back 10, perhaps 15 years at the most, because yes, perhaps you did have a paper round back in the 80s, but how's it relevant? So only the most relevant and recent. Personal qualities. Buzzwords and key skills. Okay, firstly, personal profile. This is your main selling line. So normally a selling line happens specifically for that job in a letter. I think I'm the best person for this job because. Okay, so you're the best person for this job because. Great. But your CV might stand alone on a site somewhere, and there's no covering letter to go with it. So just have personal profile, quick intro, why you're looking for this type of work, etc., etc. What your skills are. Doesn't need to be, I've got multitasking, blah, 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 blah. That comes in your key skills, just buzzwords and key skills. But what you want to say is a bit about why you're looking for work in that industry and what you've got to offer. Now, key skills. Put a table in or something like that, and then put in just the buzzwords that you want. Now, for warehousing, think about what they're after. They want people that are quick and accurate. So target-driven is a good one. Attention to detail. Team play is good. Good communication, those sort of things. But primarily, a warehouse is a place where you have to hit your targets, and you've got to be fit. So fitness isn't a bad one either, and you can link that in with your hobbies and interests. So your hobbies and interests could be playing football, going to the gym, that sort of thing. But if your hobbies and interests are going out to the pub, don't put socialising with friends. Put something like spending quality time with family and friends. That works. But what you want is to reinforce what you said in your key skills. Things that, if you're looking at for somebody that's got good attention to detail and that sort of thing, reading, but primarily it's a fitness level that they're interested in, because you might have to do a 12-hour shift and it's a long shift, and they want to know that you're not going to flag halfway through the shift. So look at sporting activities or things that you do to keep fit. Even walking, great. I enjoy walking in the countryside. Good thing to do. The other thing is your qualifications. Now, you've only got 2 pages to do this on. Let's say that you're overqualified for the job. Well, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can keep it on the CV, and when you turn up at an interview and they say, well, aren't you overqualified? Say, yeah, but in my last job, I was all over the country, whereas this job, it's close enough that I can see my family. I can actually cycle to work, so it works for me on a personal level, so that's why, blah, 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 blah. They'll get that. But if not, you can remove qualifications off your CV and just put the relevant ones in. As long as you've got maths, English and IT, the Holy Trinity, they're fine. Okay? So as I said, no more than 2 pages. Now, when you're describing your work, rather than going date, time, I did this, linear. If you do have some gaps in your CV, just do what they call a functional CV. Talk about what you can do. So you can talk about the sort of roles that you have. I have 10 years experience in warehouse, blah, 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 or I have experience in this. And that's pretty much how it works. Yeah, you can do an essay style format with paragraphs and stuff describing what you can do. And that's it. Keep it simple, keep it to the point. If they want any more specific details about what you've said in your CV, they've got to invite you to interview. And that is the whole point of your CV. If it doesn't get you to interview, it's failed, you need to tweak it. And if you don't have any relevant recent experience, volunteer. It's more than just charity shops out there. There are plenty of industry-specific things, including warehouses, that you can get voluntary experience and recent reference. Good luck.